Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome again to Congregation Or Tzion. Family of Noah Levine is with us tonight as Noah will become a bar mitzvah on Shabbat both tonight and tomorrow morning. A lot of his family will be participating tomorrow, but for right now, we just want to wish a mazel tov to Lisa and to Matt, Noah's parents, and to his siblings, to Ethan and to Gabe. Mazel tov to all of you. You will see Noah in just a few moments, as he's going to begin Shabbat with us tonight, singing Shalom Aleichem. If you have our Or Tzion Kabbalat Shabbat Siddur, it's on page 4, as Noah leads us in Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boahem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Thank you, Noah. Beautiful Shalom Aleichem to welcome in the angels of peace on Shabbat. Cantor continues with Yadid Nefesh, our beautiful soul that we have on Shabbat, page number 5.
Yedid nefesh avarachamad meshochavdach el retzonah yarut avdach kemoya yishtachaveh el muhadarav ki eravo yedidutah minafetzu v'chotam yalai lai lai yai lai 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 ya la lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 ya la lai Adonai ziv haolam nafshi cholat ahavata ana elna befanala Beharot la noam tzivah az titchazek v'titrapeh v'hayta lashim kadolam ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya la lai lai ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya la lai.
Kabbalat Shabbat formally begins with Psalm number 95, Lechuna Ranana. Come with us, sing unto God the new song as we sing together with joy, Lechuna Ranana La Adonai, page 8 in our Kabbalat Shabbat Siddur, Psalm 95.
I'm getting there.
All good, Cantor, all good.
I'm like still getting used to using guitar on live stream also.
It's all good. All great.
Lechuneranena, 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 ladonai. Lechuneranena, 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 ladonai. Nadia, Nadia, letzori sheku, nekalma fana betodah. Nadia, Nadia, let's or ye shenu. These meet up, Nadia lo. Lechuneranena, 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 ladonai. Lechuneranena, Arba'im shana akut bedor, v'haomaram to'el levaven, vehem lo yadu derachai, asher nishbati ve'api, im yevo'un el menuchati.
We sing unto God, all of the earth, sing unto God, bless God's name. We proclaim God's beauty and God's godliness each and every day. Our blessing of newness, Shir Ladonai, as the cantor leads us in Psalm 96, page 10.
Shiru Ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, baruchu shemo, asru meyom leyom yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, baruchu shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz.
Cantor, do we want to sing Romemu tonight?
Sure.
Okay, great. So we're on page 13 now in our Siddur. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, extol and celebrate the beauty of God, bow in reverence towards the holy mountain of godliness. In fact, this Thursday night, we celebrate the holiday of the great Mount Sinai, the holiday of Shavuot, when the Jewish people received the Torah. I'm going to talk a few minutes about that tonight before Lecha Dodi, as opposed to when I usually speak, because there's a fascinating piece of Lecha Dodi that we'll talk about in just a few moments that connects to the giving of the Torah. Right now, we're at Romemu, page 13, in the middle of the page.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
So there are 7 weeks between Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, and we're now in that last and final week leading up to Mount Sinai. According to the tradition, God has 7 voices that God proclaims throughout the Torah and throughout life. And if you look at the Siddur, the next psalm, the Psalm of David, the Psalm for the Sabbath, Mizmor LeDavid, talks about those voices of God, a voice that possesses power, a voice that is majestic, a voice that conquers nature, etc., etc. A voice that brings spark of fire to life, a voice of God that makes the desert spin, a voice that moves the desert of Kadesh, leading up to the final voice of God, which is at Mount Sinai, the giving of the Torah. You'll notice that the word kol, the word voice, appears 7 times in the psalm, which links us to the 7 weeks between Passover and Shavuot. The voice is displayed by God leading to the day when we receive the Torah at Mount Sinai. The cantor leads us in that special psalm, that special melody on page 14 and 15, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai v'nelim, Havul Adonai, Kavod Ba'oz, Yahalai, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yishtach, Havul Adonai, V'hadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Hamayim El HaKavodim, Adonai, Amayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Bakoach, Yahalai, Kol Adonai, Be'adai, Kol Adonai, Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai, Et Arzei Halvonon, Vayarkidem Kemo Egel, Lebanon, Tzion, Kemo v'ne'emin, Yahalai, Kol Adonai, Chotzev v'habodesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yechol elayalot, Vayechesof Ye'arot Ubechalo Kulo Omer Kavod Yahalai Adonai Lama Hobul Yashava Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yavarech et Amo V'Shalom Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah.
So tonight we have Lecha Dodi, one of those poems that we recite each and every Friday night on Shabbat. If you look at the first verse of Lecha Dodi, there are 2 very powerful words, Shamor and Zachor, to keep, to guard, to protect, and to remember Shabbat. These words we will recite this coming Friday morning in synagogue when we read the 10 Commandments. When we read the 10 Commandments from the book of Exodus, where it says to remember the Sabbath. And later in the book of Deuteronomy, when Moses repeats the Decalogue, when Moses repeats the 10 Commandments, it says to keep the Sabbath. This is one of the reasons why we light 2 candles on Shabbat customarily. The obligation is to light 1 candle on the Sabbath, but the reason that we light 2 is one for remembering, and the other one is one for guarding. And just for a moment, I want us to think about, what does it mean to remember? What does it mean to hold on to? We remember what life is like before social distancing. We remember what it was like to be together. Yet now we have technology that can enable us to be together, to hold that remembering into acting. And so as we recite Lecha Dodi tonight, I want us to think about what's important to us right now. What are we remembering right at this moment? What is special for us? What did we remember from this past week that provides us special meaning and opportunities for growth? The Torah does not have a coincidence with how it uses its words. And as we have the word Zachor, remembering Shabbat, first let's remember. Let's have the memory of hope, that we can get back to times that we had before, that we can soon once again see one another. And hopefully by then it'll be time for Shamor. It'll be time for protecting, for keeping, for taking care of one another physically, by holding each other's hand, by giving each other a physical hug, and wishing each other a Shabbat Shalom. May this Shabbat be one of remembering and one of doing. We continue with Lecha Dodi. I know that people sometimes are caught off guard when the rabbi speaks, so I wanted to speak earlier because it had to do with the verses of Lecha Dodi. And as you'll hear the Keter's words, Shamor v'Zachor b'dibur echad, both in the 10 Commandments, to remember the Sabbath and to keep the Sabbath. Page 17 and 18, Cantor, how about we do the first 3 verses together? And then what do you want to do? It's up to you.
I was thinking of maybe let's do like 1, 2, 5, 8, 9.
1, 2, 5, 8, 9. Sounds like a game of bingo. Anyway, let's do that. Let's do the first and second verses, and then verse 5, and then verses 8 and 9. So if you're following our Shabbat Siddur, it's on pages 17 and 18, and then verse 5 is on page 19, and then 8 and 9, 21 and 22. Lecha Dodi.
I like this. This is a fun melody by Alana Arian. Lecha Dodi likrat kala Dene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala Dene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor v'diburecha Yishmiyanu el hamducha Adonai echad U'shemo echad U'shemo tiferet Lelit tehilah Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Nikrat Shabbat Mekubenecha Ki mekor habracha Verosh mikadam nesucha V'shem u'tiferet lelit tehilah Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela. Verse 5. Hit'odari, hit'odari, ki barech u'mit'ori, uri shidaveri, k'mon Adonai alayich nichla, lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela. Verse 8. Yamin u'smol tifrotzi Le'et Adonai ta'aritzi Al Yari ben Parzi V'nismecha v'na'ila Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela. Verse 9. Boi v'shalom atem ba'alav Gam b'simcha u'b'tzor olav Toch emunei am segula Boi kala Boi kala Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Kedei Shabbat Yekabela.
The end of Kabbalat Shabbat, the beautiful psalm of Psalm 93. God reigns clothed with majesty. Creation clothes godliness with strength, which we all have in these days and weeks ahead. Indeed, the world is firmly established and will not be moved. Your godly throne is established from of old. You, God, are one who is everlasting, who gives us hope and healing. The floods lift up, compassionate one. The floods in the world lift up their voice. The floods continue to lift up their waves with optimism. May then the sounds of many waters, the mighty breakers of the sea, acknowledge that godliness is mighty. Your divine testimonies are fully confirmed. Holiness and community befit your house forevermore. The cantor concludes the last lines of Psalm 93.
Nikolot ma'im rabim, adirim mishperayam, adir bamarom maronai, edotecha nemnu meod, levetcha nava kodesh, Adonai leorech yamim.
At this time, those who wish to stand for Mourner's Kaddish, feel free to do so. Pages 25 and 26. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, me'alma divra kir'ute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. My friends, we reach for godliness from quiet places, says our reflection before Shabbat. We should stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. We sometimes need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, and certainly the days that we are living in, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precious and steadies us with faith. We will find strength in silence, and with strength we will turn again to God's service, bringing godliness to all. The introduction to the Baruch Hu, which is the blessing of creation, is on page 28, and before Noah leads us in the Baruch Hu, we start to read and navigate through the fourth book of the Torah, this Shabbat, the book of Bamidbar, which means in the desert. And just as the Jewish people had challenge in the desert, there was a narrative of challenge and of hope, yet there was one of great optimism, of a great feeling that for 40 years the time would come that the Jewish people would reach the land of Israel. We might feel like we are in a desert these days, where things are dry. I mean, at least in our community, it's rather hot in the Valley of the Sun, but we shouldn't see life as a desert. We should see life as the opportunity in an empty place for growth, for sprouting, for invigoration, for enthusiasm. And this world in which we are living desperately needs that. Let's transform Bamidbar in the desert to a well, an oasis of hope and of goodness. Noah is going to lead us in the Baruch Hu, that blessing of creation, page 28, top of the page.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Noah, the actual idea is that when you recite a blessing on the weekend of your bar mitzvah, once you say the word Baruch Hu, you are now a bar mitzvah, but you still have to finish the service tonight, and you really need to show up tomorrow morning. Very good. The cantor continues with the blessing of creation at the bottom of the page.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ari V'Aravi.
The blessing before the Shema, a reminder that God gives the Jewish people love with the gift of Torah, which we received this week on the holiday of Shavuot, beginning Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. The cantor offers the blessing on page 30.
Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'alayla, ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Noah leads us in the words of the Shema and the Ve'ahavta. As we find it on page 31 in our Siddur, Noah leads us in the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha, uvekol meodecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzalvecha, hayom alivavecha, ve'shinatan nevanecha, ve'dibarta bam, ve'shitecha uvetecha, uletecha vaderech, Ushokbeha ukumecha, ushartan leot al yadecha, ve'ayua tatafo beninecha, uftaftam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
We continue with the Shema to ourselves, the second and third paragraphs. Thank you, Noah. Beautiful job. Pages 32 through 35 to ourselves.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Who is like you, O God, among all gods that is worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in beauty, doing wonders? In their escape from the sea, our ancestors saw your sovereign might displayed. On the holiday of Passover, they said, "This is my God." They answered, "Our God will reign forever and ever." The words of Michamocha, the blessing of thanksgiving, from the holiday of Passover, page 37, top of the page.
Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Norat tehilot osef eleh Norat tehilot osef eleh Malchut chara uvanecha bokei ayam Livnei Moshe uMiriam Ze Elianu ve'amru Ze Elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Our prayer for peace we read in English tonight as we are hopeful for peace around the world. Another week of the pandemic, another week of coronavirus. We pray and hope that healing and health is upon us in the future. Grant, O eternal God, that we may lie down at night in peace and raise us up in the morning renewed with strength. Spread over us the shelter of godly peace. Guide us with good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred, from pandemic. Keep us from war, from famine, from starvation. Subdue our inclination to evil, which is something I'll talk about tomorrow morning. O God, our guardian and our helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your godly wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace. Blessed is Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all of your people of Israel, all of humanity, and over Jerusalem. Today was Yom Yerushalayim, day that we honor and care for the capital of the Jewish people, the city of Jerusalem, that there should be peace there and around the world. Cantor concludes the bracha, Ufros Aleinu.
Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Baruch Atah Adonai Hapores Sukat Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Noah leads us in the words of the Vishamru, which you can find in our Siddur on page 40. Once again, Vishamru, page 40, as Noah leads us.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledor tambarit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledor tambarit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledor tambarit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledor tambarit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledor tambarit olam. Did I miss one?
No, you're good. You're good, Noah. You're all good. Cantor continues with Chatzi Kaddish. I think we just had a beep there. We're all good. We're all good. Cantor?
Yes.
Chatzi Kaddish. We're all good.
God was texting.
That's okay.
Yitkadash
Mount Sinai.
Shemei
Amen.
Rabba Dibra Kirute V'Yamlich Malchute B'chayefonu B'yomechon Uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kari V'imeru Amen Yesh Merabba Mevarach Ve'alam Mulal Me'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yidrama V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yit'aleh V'yithalal Shmei V'kudesha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tu Shmechata V'nechemata Da'amira De'alma V'imeru Amen.
The time has come for the Shabbat Amidah, our private conversation with the divine, pages 43 through 56. As I mentioned before tonight, before L'Chadodi, Shabbat is a time for us to reflect and to remember, just like the commandment of remembering the Sabbath, which we will read this coming Friday morning. Think about something that you are remembering this week, something that you're holding on to, something that was special that happened this week, something that you'll remember as we move forward in the week to create new memories and opportunities. Right now, some time for ourselves to appreciate moments of memory. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for community and spirituality. May the door of Or Tzion welcome everyone who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, and hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy, enmity, and jealousy. May the door of Congregation Or Tzion be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the door of Congregation Or Tzion here on this Zoom platform be here for all who choose to enter, a doorway to a richer, more meaningful, and most importantly, a healthier life. The cantor continues with Kaddish Shalem on page 60.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, והמה דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ומכון ובחיית כל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב אמרו, אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך, ועלם מולה מהמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה, בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן מעמה ואמרו, אמן, תתקבל פותהון ואותן לכל ישראל, קודם אבהון דבישמיה, ואמרו, אמן, יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו, אמן, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו, אמן.
Whether we know somebody or not, there are so many people in the world who are sick, who are hurting from this virus and from other illness. And every Friday night, we offer a blessing of healing for others who are ill, a blessing of healing for those who are hurt, a blessing of healing for those who are mentally stressed, a blessing of healing for all. And so as we offer this blessing of healing tonight, think about someone that you know, or perhaps someone that you don't know, as we pray for their body and of their spirit, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. And hopefully in the coming week, healing will be at hand for all. Our Misha Berach, for those who are ill, page 62, if you have the Siddur.
Misha Berach, Avotenu, Bekor HaBracha, Leimotenu, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha
Thank you, Cantor, for that beautiful blessing of healing. Noah, we're going to continue with you for the prayer of Aleinu, which reminds us to make the world a better place. Page 63, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol la'tegedu la'leotzer breishi shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzo velo samanu kemishbe ha'adama shelo sam helkenu kachem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishvahadim umodim lifnei melech malach el machim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar V'chaya Adonai L'melech al kol ha'aretz Vayom hachu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
Beautiful, Noah, for Aleinu. At this time, we remember the yard sites this week from the 29th of Iyar to the 6th of Sivan of Lydia Wolin, Ruth Zell, Stanley Klebe, Joseph Liederman, Michael Griziak, Asher Zelig Ben Wilner, Celia Konevsky, Dorothy Wolk, Harvey Fuller, Judith Walton, Shani Yagoda, and Hermione Sofer. At this time, those who wish to recite the words of the mourner's Kaddish, now is the time to do so on page 66 and 67. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra kirute, ve'amlich malchute, ve'chayechon, uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, va'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach, ve'alam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei dekudsha brechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Before a few announcements, Noah, I have some gifts here for you in this basket. Before you catch them from me virtually, I'll just tell you what's in them. In the bag, there is a book about Israel from the Jewish Federation, and hopefully you'll get to see our Holy Land again. You've already been there. I know you've been there, and hopefully you'll have a chance to go visit again. There's a gift card to our USY group. There's a Kiddush cup in here from, I believe it's Men's Club. There's a tzedakah box here from Women's League. There's a gift card for you to redeem some money to start your own philanthropy group. We'll help you get started at B'nai Tzedek, which is at the Jewish Community Foundation. There is a tree that's been planted in Israel. So the next time you go to Israel, go find your tree somewhere in the north, in the Galil, or as we talked about the Negev, the desert tonight. Maybe it'll be planted in the desert. So you'll have to go and check that out. I think those are all the gifts here. So why don't you take the bag, catch it on the other end. Awesome. There you go. You are very welcome. You hold on to that bag.
All right.
Changed a little color there, but it still works. Noah, before Kiddush, I just have a few brief announcements for our synagogue community. We want to invite everyone to join tomorrow via live stream again as Noah becomes a bar mitzvah on Shabbat morning. We have a young family Havdalah night tomorrow featuring storybook entertainment, some arts and crafts. That's at 5 o'clock p.m. Right, Cantor? 5 o'clock p.m., right, for our storybook entertainment Havdalah. So many of you have already received a letter and we're at our congregational meeting learning about our Gift of the Heart program this year for our synagogue and our dues, the voluntary dues program, which we're very excited about. If you have questions, there are informational sessions that are being held on Zoom this Sunday at 4 o'clock and Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Also on Sunday at 11 a.m., our religious school students will be thanking our teachers. We will have a virtual kind of drive-through where the teachers will be standing and students can drive through and wish their teachers love and support for the summer ahead. So that's this Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Shavuot is coming up, as I've mentioned several times. We have an ice cream celebration on Thursday evening at 6. Shavuot service Friday morning at 9:30. Next Friday night at 6 o'clock, we are honoring our graduates from high school. And then Saturday morning, again, Shabbat and Shavuot, which will include Yizkor. We've had a couple of questions about Yizkor. We sent out a message today that included the Yizkor booklet. So hold on to that email and you'll be able to have the Yizkor service. I think that is it for now. That's enough announcements for the evening. We are going to continue with Kiddush. Noah, do you have a Kiddush cup with you there?
Yes.
Great. So if you'll lead us in the Kiddush, and then we'll wish each other a Shabbat Shalom on page 67.
Baruch atah Adonai. I forgot how it goes.
It's okay. Don't worry. Baruch atah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav ve'ratzavanu ve'shabbat kodshav ve'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lama'aseh v'reishi ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'achava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Noah, there's one thing I forgot to mention. You are a camper at Camp Vermont, California. And
Yeah.
so we also will get you a special Siddur from camp that you'll be able to use in summer 2021. I know we've heard some sad news today about camp not happening this summer, but we know there it is. Matt's on display with it. Matt, say something so we can see that Siddur.
This is Gabriel's Sidor, but Noah now will get one of his own.
Very good. So Noah will get his own Siddur from Camp Ramah. Mazel tov to everybody and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Nicely done, Noah. Yay!
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Knock it back. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bim, bitty 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 bim, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, woo, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom Mevorah.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We hope to see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.
See you, Levines, in the morning. Noah, you did a beautiful job.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you tomorrow.
Noah, you're awesome.